Welcome to our weekly movie talk. Today it's not only about movies because we're talking the whole Alien franchise, which of course also includes comic books and stuff. So, as always, I'm welcoming my co-host Sean. Hey Sean, how are you today?
I'm doing fine, man. I'm ready to spit acid in people's faces, man.
Yeah, it's only not like 5 days since Monday, and Monday was Alien Day, which is my favorite holiday of the year.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's a great holiday to just sit back, relax, and watch aliens just cocoon people and chest bursters just bursting out of their chest. It's awesome.
Yeah, the only thing this year what really bothered me is that somehow Marvel and Disney forgot it's Alien Day. Like they did jack shit. 20th Century Fox, at least always celebrated it. They really got, its fan movement that was going on because the planet Archeron in the first movie was called LV426, which resonates, of course, to the 26th of April. And so this became within the fan community the official day to celebrate the Alien franchise. And since Marvel acquired it, like, check shit.
Yeah, I knew when Marvel Disney got aliens, I'm like, it's not gonna be the same.
Yeah. We're also gonna talk about that one obviously later, and we already have two people in the chat. First, Magic Lasso. Hey Ryan. No, we're not talking about this kind of aliens today. So there's nobody has to be afraid of anal probing. It's more about uh, a horror story about getting impregnated by an alien, having it burst out of your chest. But
Yeah.
yes, similar. And we also have Marvelous Comics here. Hey, yeah, great topic. Alien, being around since 1979. And ever since, which is funny because before I seen any of the Alien movies, I was going through the bookshelf of my parents when I was a kid. And my dad had the Aliens adaptation of the Cameron movie. So I read this as a kid, and there was also the pictures in there, and I was immediately hooked, even before I have seen the movies. And I think that even Aliens was the first one that I have seen when I was a kid, and then later I've seen Alien, and absolutely loved them both.
It's a good thing you didn't start with three.
Yeah, I gave Alien 3 so many chances. I watched all the cuts, and it's just a boring movie.
It
You know,
is, man.
it has all this religious subtext. I get like the artistry behind it. It's just not a movie that I want to see in the Alien franchise.
Yeah, man. It's like
Hey,
Aliens had the extended cut, and that was a longer movie, but at the same time, it was way better, structured. It kept you entertained with the characters in there. Alien 3 was just a bore.
well, for its wrong choice of director, chaos on set. Joss Whedon is also
Yeah. The
Joss
dialogue
Whedon
is so Josh Whedon like, man.
very, 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 very hit and miss.
And
And
even if that was a clone of Ripley, it just wasn't
yeah,
Ripley, man. It's like I hated to see Sigourney Weaver in that role playing a clone of Ripley, and it's just like the character sort of never came back, even as a clone.
yeah. It's like, Alien 3, I absolutely didn't like the movie. The best thing about Alien 3 is that she sacrificed, like, how she sacrificed herself in the end. Like, this is a strong scene, but it doesn't excuse the boredom that was that movie.
Like the only good thing about Alien 3 was the performances by Weaver, Charles Dutton, and Charles Dance.
Yeah,
That's
Charles
it.
Dance is so good in there. And
That's
I
it.
mean, even like in Alien 4, you have the Reef. I can't pronounce his
Hey,
name.
Alien 4 could be summed up as Hellboy versus aliens.
Yeah, basically like that. It's and also CGI is like I don't like. I want to see like a dude in a fucking rubber suit.
The first movie, man.
James Cameron has shown what you can do with like a handful of suits. Because he promised the studio that he's going to perform like there's a huge amount of aliens just having I think how many 8 or 9 suits or something like that. And also you know how uh, like Alien 3 basically totally shits on aliens
Oh
and
man. Like I
and
remember watching
it
Alien 3 and just
equals
being upset that they killed Newt and Hicks, pretty much
yeah.
erasing what Ripley did in the second movie.
Yeah, for me it's totally I ignore Alien 3 and 4. For me it's Aliens, and the Mark Verheiden run, like Nightmare Asylum and everything, like how he portrayed the story of Newt in there, and then also Ripley coming back. It's supreme. It's like I don't know how often I have already bought this. Sadly, Dark Horse was not able to finish like their Omni-B, but I already pre-ordered the Omni-B hardcover by Marvel, which I think it's the fourth or fifth time I'm buying like the Verheiden run. But it's just supreme. That's for me is my that's my headcanon. I think that the early Dark Horse comics are the true continuation of Aliens.
Yep.
And there's also one of my favorite panels, because also in the Dark Horse run, the xenomorphs have overrun Earth, and there's this beautiful panel where there was like a school class, like corpses everywhere, and like a dead teacher that was writing on the blackboard shortly before it died, Darwin was right. And this is such a powerful panel. One of my, everything probably, it's my favorite alien panel in comic books. And especially when you have read this atrocity, you're really missing the Dark Horse run. It's like the art in this. Even this guy who calls himself an artist is tracing fucking NECA figures.
And I used to like LaRocca, man, but his art just nosedive in the 2000s for me.
You see the bloody joints on the aliens that he traced. I have the fucking NECA figures here. I checked. Hey Lisa, thanks for stopping
What's up,
by.
Lisa?
Yeah, I mean the story could go places. It's a decent story, but I expected way more from Kennedy, especially after reading The Last God. This is just if you get a huge franchise like the Alien franchise and you take it from Dark Horse. Okay, Dark Horse had some weak comics in the past too, but they also have brilliant comics. And what Dark Horse did with the lore of Aliens is just phenomenal. And when you get this and you claim to be the house of ideas, then
I laugh at that
you
now.
bring more to the table than just like a regular okay story with art that is traced from action figures. And also, it's like you bring this comic out, and on Alien Day, like nothing. It's like they could have done a special issue, a one shot on Alien Day. They could have started that bloody comic on Alien Day. It's really half-assed, and it shows no respect of this legacy franchise.
None whatsoever, man.
Hey, Chasey, thanks for coming here.
Man, when you said Marvel being the house of ideas, like they're the house of running out of ideas because they ain't got no ideas.
Yeah, and I'm already afraid what they're going to do with Predator.
Yeah, like when Marvel got the Star Wars, they got then they recently got Aliens and Predator. I'm like Star Wars, I could see because they've been pushing that for the last 5 years, and the movies came back, so of course it was smart for Disney to do that. But with Aliens and Predator, Dark Horse has had that series and Star Wars for like over 20 years, and they've been doing phenomenal things with it. Even with the weaker stories, they've done enough to have people continue to read the extended universe of Star Wars along with Predator and Aliens. So it's like with Marvel, it's corporate comics now, when it comes to those properties.
And also the cover, I mean, the little mouth is not flexible.
No.
It's just wrong. It shows no respect. And one of the last great miniseries, The Dark Horse, I mean, Dead Orbit by Stokely, that was art. This would be the sort of book you want to start the franchise with. Something that breaks the boundaries of comics. Aliens is, it's a trademark that has to go past comics. But when you do a comic, then it also has to, really has to play with everything that is possible in comics, which is not possible on TV, which is perfectly done, like in the Aliens That Orbit, like where you really have astonishing art and it adds something new to the franchise while totally being in line with everything that has been released so far. Hey, William.
What's up, William?
And also, like with the Marvel, the first panels, when you see all the very badly traced alien NECA figures. And the next thing is, if you trace NECA figures, learn how to fucking pose an action figure. These are like so stale. It's crazy. And then they added this new creature, like this sort of female xenomorph style. The aesthetics are very nice of that female creature because it very much reminds me of H.R. Giger's work, and at least one character in there was a nice homage to Giger. Like, I have to give them that, but everything else, it's yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Kamoro.
What's up, Kamoro? We got
and Fable.
What's going on, fellas?
Yeah, I really wanted to like this comic. I really wanted to, and I already read issue number 2, and I'm very much on the verge of dropping it from my pull list.
See, I didn't bother getting issue number 2 because issue number 1 wowed me. It didn't wow me, and I normally give comics like a 3-issue limit. Like if I don't like it by the 3rd issue, I drop it. But after the first issue, I was like, nah.
I'm going to have that one. I'm having so many xenomorph figures. I can't even. No, I have one I have somewhere else. Here it is. Okay, got it. Yeah. So basically, this is how you see the xenomorph in the new Marvel comic, like elbow joints included. And this is shameful. Just let's stand here.
We also have to pay our respects to the original alien from the first film, Bolaja Bajero. I had to say that name right. The man who played the alien in the first film. He had that very tall feature,
and the way he moved in that, for sure, very uncomfortable rubber suit.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like I even said before, the first when I've seen the pictures in the novel before I've seen the movie, it's just you see it and it gives you a sort of fascination, but I think it also really invokes like a very deep fear we all have, like every human has.
And
And
the design of the aliens is fantastic.
yeah,
Like the whole design, the long head with the mouth, double mouth, and all. It's a phenomenal design, and it really uh, captures your imagination. Like just imagine seeing one right in front of your face. You're completely shitting your pants. Especially when he sticks that extra mouth with the jaws out.
yeah, and when you look how like design evolved, is Giga was just such a fantastic artist. Is like it's like this one in a million masterminds, and everything it did was had a lasting effect. And yeah, I mean when you look at like the very early designs here, and you can see how it slowly evolves. I have seen the first prototype suit when they had it like here in Austria. We had like a very special Giga exposition, and the first suit was just wow. Like when you have it like right in front of you, and also here like you see it from. I mean, this is something you have to come up with.
Yeah, the designs are amazing, and then what
Crazy.
what 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 I was afraid of more than just the alien was them damn
Hey,
face those damn face huggers. Those shits creep me the fuck out because of their long legs, spider like legs, and the tentacle on the back that wraps around your throat. That
and
scene in the second Aliens movie where Ripley and Newt was trapped in the room with the two face huggers, thanks to that
oh,
asshole Burke. I was like,
yeah,
I can't imagine being in that room. I'll probably get caught immediately.
yeah, that was a very great scene. Like the tension building. This is still like when I watch it, I know it's coming, and I'm
Yes,
like, Bert, you motherfucker.
God,
Like every
he got exactly what he deserved.
yeah, and Ripley was very very forgiving that she ended him like the way she did. I mean,
He
also
got exactly.
basically the facehuggers are flying pussies. I mean, everything with Giga's art, you always have your vaginas in everything.
And the thing about it is the Facebook huggers impregnate you with their embryo, and the next thing you know, you got a freaking alien inside your chest. Like
Yeah.
that, I will say is more creative than anything. The way they reproduce. They need human hosts or any type of living
Yeah.
specimen as a host, and then once they impregnate you, then the shit just burst out your chest. Like, nah, you ain't gonna just give regular birth. Nah, we just coming out.
I mean, let's remember also fantastic crossover Batman aliens and the alligator alien.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was crazy. I mean, there also was a Joker alien in the very weak second crossover.
But
Yeah,
that
really lovely.
the first Alien movie. The funny thing about the first Alien movie is that like Sigourney Weaver wasn't like the star of that movie in terms of top billing, but as soon as Dallas got ambushed in the corridor, she became the main lead, and that's what elevated her career.
Oh, Alien Isolation. I love this game. I suck so much at it. Like, it's like you have to flee from the alien, and it ends like I'm playing a video game and I'm hiding 30 minutes on the table because I'm too afraid. Like, I would be probably one of the first ones to go in an alien movie. I mean, I'm having better chances against the predator because I'm like because I'm not worthy prey.
Man, that Alien Isolation was a huge step up from that god awful Colonial Marines.
I still like the Colonial Marines, especially after the fan patch. The fan patch
I
really saved the game.
I was just so disappointed in that game.
The vanilla game, don't touch it, but the fan patch really made the AI of the aliens good, and it pumped up the graphics back to that which was promised us at I think at the E3 in the original trailer. So give that game another chance with the fan patch. And up to this day, I'm still playing Alien vs Predator from Rebellion.
And another thing the Alien franchise introduced us was their version of androids.
Yeah. And
Like
just
I
like
remember,
say Superman Aliens, so good. I really liked it, when they impregnated Superman and he was running out like of time because he was too far away from the sun. Fantastic story, fantastic crossover.
it's like Aliens had great crossovers with Superman and Batman. It's funny how that worked out.
I didn't play the Jaguar game, but I played the Alien trilogy on the PC when I was a kid. And of course, Aliens 3 on the Super Nintendo, which was way more action packed than the actual Alien 3. Yeah. Hey, Jay Hood, thanks for
What's
stopping
up, J
by.
Hood?
Yeah,
That's mostly what we're gonna talk about today.
yeah, Aliens, and of course the comics, also some video games. It's just this franchise is omnipresent, and it's been said what it's come to, especially of course Alien 3, Alien 4, and I mean with Alien Covenant, I was not a fan of. I didn't like the step they take. But Prometheus is actually a really good movie. I really like Prometheus, but
Yeah,
you
they
have
dropped the
to
ball with Covenant.
yeah you have to watch the deleted scenes on Prometheus. It's crazy. They cut out the best scenes that would totally like raise the story to the next level, and they kept the stupid dialogue in the movie. Like when you watch the deleted scenes, like the scenes where the engineer like freaks out and goes crazy and kills Wayland, totally makes sense. And also other like scenes were enhanced by the dialogue that was cut out. So it's really a pity that there should be a director cut with the deleted scenes, or there should be like save the movie from the director cut.
Yeah, because that was the thing that I didn't like about the original Prometheus in terms of
Yeah.
the regular theatrical cut was it was a good movie, but I felt like a lot of it was on the chopping block in terms of what was left off, and some of the characters was not that good. Like I wasn't a fan of some of the characters in that movie. I liked it. Fassbender, I thought he did a great job as an android, but I was like, some of the character motivations didn't hold up as well for me. But it was better than Covenant in terms in the characters in that movie.
I actually really like the cast. I mean, it was very well cast, and okay, with some character motivation, it's a little bit very basic. The thing is with Ridley Scott, Ridley Scott is, in terms of visuals, a genius. I don't think he's the best storyteller. When you see the original Alien, it's very much it's Dan O'Bannon's loved brainchild.
Yeah.
Dan O'Bannon, who sadly passed away way too soon, fantastic writer, big fan of H.P. Lovecraft, and also loved classic science fiction. So the original, if I have a movie tip, watch Planet of the Vampires. by Mario Bava. Mario Bava, for me, the best director of all time. Directed, like I said, also one of my favorite comic book movies, Danger Diabolic, and he's
Nice.
just a genius. And when you watch Planet of the Vampires, a lot of the visuals you will see again in Alien. And Dan O'Bannon was a fan of that movie, and also like from the also it the movie It, like not the clown It, but It from 1958. Also a movie that very much inspired Alien. And Dan O'Bannon brought all of this into the script. And when you look at the recent Dark Horse visualization of the original Dan O'Bannon script, you see that the movie and the original script are still very close.
Yeah, Dan O'Bannon was he was with John Carpenter on the Dark Star movie that I didn't watch when that first came out.
That's a crazy.
Or when we talked about
Yeah.
But yeah, Dan O'Bannon was an important part of the first Alien movie.
And I still think that Dan O'Bannon did the best H.P. Lovecraft adaptation, like with the Resurrected. That's one of the few movies that he directed. Yeah. So I really think that Dan O'Bannon's fantastic script combined with the visual talent of Ridley Scott was, and of course, like the genius of H.R. Giger, was what made Alien such a masterpiece. And later on, when Ridley Scott basically claimed everything for himself, especially with Prometheus and Alien Covenant, you see that the focus of Ridley Scott is more. I understand it. He's old. His brother sadly passed away, and when the years before you are fewer than the years that already passed, you think a lot. So of course, in like when you watch the recent Ridley Scott stuff, you have the main theme is what will happen when we pass away, who created us. So in the sense, very philosophical about the afterlife and everything. Also, like how does life evolve, and I think I can understand that Ridley Scott, like being I think over 80 years old, is very much taken by this thoughts, but this is not like something I really want to have like in the Alien franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And also here you can always see like Ridley Scott's love for androids, and
yes,
yeah, and Alien Covenant is more Blade Runner Covenant than with like an alien cameo. Yeah, music score, of course, fantastic. Yeah, I totally read it. It was a really well done adaptation, and I think it was a very worthy title as the last Alien title for Dark Horse.
What do you think of the story by Archie Goodwin for the Heavy Metal magazine? That came out the same year as the movie.
Yeah, I have to reread that one.
I thought it had some great artwork from
it's the black and white. Yeah, the black and white. Yeah. It came out as the hardcover. Yeah, but I haven't read it in a long time. But of course, like I remember some of the panels, and they were fantastic.
Yeah, like I've read that like years ago, but I remember because it was Walt Simonson's artwork, and I thought it was phenomenal. Especially with some of the violence in it.
Is it even? I just look. Isn't it even reprinted in there? I don't think so. No, it's the Outbreak. Yeah, it's not reprinted in that one. I have to look through my Alien books. Otherwise, I have to get the hardcover.
Yeah. So let's dive into the first Alien film. You know, and there were a couple of scenes in that movie where I was like, this shit gonna come back to haunt him, because even when I watched as young, I stood by Ripley's side when what's his name came back with the face hugger and they wanted to get back in to help him out, and she was like, we don't want to break quarantine.
Pain.
That's actually 100% true. Like, you don't want to break quarantine with them being out there. You don't know what they're bringing in, and of course, Ash being the scientist and the quote unquote the main person in charge of the Weyland Tusani program to say, we want to study this alien. He let them in the door. So it's almost as if what we saw later in the movie, they were sent there just to get the alien organism, and everybody else was expendable. And right from the start, you already had a villain that was established throughout the whole series in Weyland Tusani Corporation, because they only wanted the alien for their bioweapons program. And we've seen this time and time again with scientific movies where you get this greed that you want to study this and analyze it and use it for your own personal gain, not looking at the dangers of doing just that. And we've seen it all the time where things get out of hand, science experiments go wrong, and it just turns into a complete mess. I felt like they didn't explore that enough in terms of what Ash did letting them in. And that Ripley should have said, this is breaking quarantine. And after the alien got loose in the ship, she should have looked at Dallas and said, this is your fault.
Yeah, it's I really like also, like, they only find out that Ash was an android.
Yeah,
this was very well set up so that they had no idea that an android was traveling with them. The only thing I know I've discussed this a lot. Sometimes, in the scene there's nobody watching, he still pretends like to have like human mimics, which is the only thing this is a little bit off. Otherwise, a really good portrayal. Of course, the sad thing is, in the last years, we lost so many of these fantastic actors.
Yeah, including Yape Kodo, who we just lost.
Yeah, John Hurt also passed away, and I think isn't Sigourney Weaver one of the only ones left? Maybe Lambert, the actress. I don't know if she's still around.
I think Tom Skerritt is still alive.
Hopefully, yeah. Yes, Stanton, he lived a long life. Yeah, that's one sad thing about Aliens. There's so many actors that I really like, and sadly they're gone. But also, it speaks for the casting. Like, almost every actor from the cast had like a fantastic career, at least as a character actor.
Yeah, and I agree with Fable about, even though when what's his name knocked his dome off, when Parker knocked his dome off of the android, that shit freaked me out as a kid. Like, yo, what the fuck is that?
And when he made a bloody magazine, like a horrible weapon. Ash.
Yeah, man, Ash was scary when he was manhandling Ripley, and that shows how powerful the androids are, because they were fucking annoying in Alien Isolation. Like, I thought the alien was scary hiding from himself, but when you see a level full of androids, you're like, fuck, man, I gotta get through all these damn androids.
Yeah, that's all. Also, something you really have to say for Ash is Ash basically set up like how horrifying androids are in the whole franchise. There's also
Except
because when I played
except
Alien,
except for Wyoming Ryder, she was not scary.
we don't talk about that. She was a sex bomb.
But yeah, like
You just said
Bishop.
because I love Winona Ryder, but
Yeah,
no, no, not in that one. Like more reality bites and less, less aliens.
that's why I felt she brought the android down. And like even the other androids, like, what the fuck, you making us look bad?
Yeah,
Because I thought Bishop was the perfect android in the second movie. The way he was, like, he felt more human than Ash for me. Ash felt kind of stoic, and non-human. Whereas Bishop, you almost couldn't distinguish him from human and android. Like he almost felt like he can go both ways. Like he had human elements, yet he was android.
Yeah, TM Nerdy, completely okay to like the fourth one. It's like I will never tell anybody like or don't like this movie. Tastes are different, and the fourth one is still very much 90s and
Marvelous comics, man.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, Bishop is fantastic, and also
And of course Lance Henriksen, man. I mean,
may he live forever. And Lance Henriksen, love that guy. Yeah. Fantastic in every movie. We already discussed him in the past. We will discuss him a lot more in the future. Great actor, and it's sad seeing all these people getting old.
Yeah, you almost wish they can live forever, apes.
Come on, you apes! You want to live forever.
And I do think that Starship Troopers took that Colonial Marines bravado and amplified it.
I mean, actually, aliens took the
like. Yeah, but nobody outside of people who in that era, I don't think people was talking about Starship Troopers until like the first movie came out. But I know the Starship Troopers book came out in the early, 40s, 50s.
James Cameron, and like very much inspired, of course, by Heinlein Starship Troopers. But I think this is also something, when something goes full circle, like Aliens, basically inspired by the Heinlein book, and the Starship Troopers movie, very much inspired by the Aliens' portrayal of the Marines.
Yeah, and it's fascinating when you look at, because all the Aliens movies have different tones to them. Like the first movie is like straight up sci-fi horror. With the tension was strong. The alien was stalking them throughout. They didn't know what to do, so they tried to figure out ways of how to avoid the alien and get off the ship.
We will talk Highland in the future, for sure.
The second movie was just balls to wall action, man. Like, you had Marines, you had freaking Bill Paxton in there, and Michael Behan. I mean, the freaking Colonial Marines was awesome. And it was great to see, these Marines go up and get slaughtered by the aliens, but they still put in their best effort.
And Bill Paxton, the only guy in the world who got killed by Terminator, a Predator, and the Xenomorph. Lance Henriksen was not killed by a Xenomorph, since he was an android and he was still there in the third movie.
Yeah, because he was real in the third movie. But he did get killed by a Terminator, though.
And by a Predator in AVP.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. That's right. So damn, man.
Yeah, Bill Paxton.
Game over, man. And then, like you said earlier, the third one was more of a religious
philosophical movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the fourth one was just a car crash. That's how I look at it.
The fourth one had too many cooks, and it's like,
and none of them cooked a good meal.
Yeah, it's completely okay to like the movie. I know some people here who like the movie, but for me, it has too many things that put me off. It's a little bit too funny for its only it tries to be too cool, and which is sad because it has also fantastic actors in it. A lot of fantastic also French actors, and it just I don't think that it gets a really good rhythm.
Yeah, it just the story was all over the place, and it just didn't do well in terms of how they portrayed the character of Ripley. You know, we grew up to love Ripley, and then when we see that fourth movie, it's like that's not Ripley, that's a clone, but it's still Sigourney Weaver, and it's just like no. But back to what I was saying about these movies having different tones, and that's what happens when you have 4 different directors do 4 different movies, because they're all different. They're not all the same. And that's the thing about Aliens that I feel hurts the franchise, is that all the movies has this tonally different form to it, and there's no real structure to it. You know, like
And
each movie doesn't mess up with the other.
And this is why I prefer the Mark Verheiden comic book run as a sequel to Alien and Aliens, because it mixes horror and action science fiction, and it doesn't try to reinvent the wheel too much. So I think it's really it's a continuation that is more in line with the aesthetics of Alien and Aliens. Like Gary B said before, that like he prefers Alien because of the horror vibe. This is also one of the oldest discussions in the franchise. Like, do you prefer Alien or Aliens? For me, it's like both movies are near perfect movies, and I love them equally for what they bring to the table.
Yeah. Because I always, when I was younger, I always thought the first Alien movie was slow, but at the same time, the tension was strong in that movie, because you just can't predict where the alien is going to be, especially in those dark corridors. And Alien is the first franchise to establish the dark corridor movie setup, where, you know, anything you saw after that in dark corridors, like, oh, this is an Alien ripoff. Like we talked about before with Leviathan, you know, that movie, an underwater alien movie. You know, it established, Aliens established that tight space situation.
Or this piece of crap that I reviewed on Monday.
I watched that video, man. Oh, man, the ripoffs came out strong during that time, man.
Yeah, I mean, I love a good ripoff, but that one wasn't a good one. Contamination was a way better ripoff.
Yeah, and back what Fable said, the whole Weyland Yutani company, 2,000 years, and they still trying to chase this fucking alien organism. I'm like, what? 200 years, still trying to chase this shit. I'm like, you succeeded and you failed for that many years, and yet you still haven't learned your lesson.
Yeah, it's never just another bug hunt, never. But yeah, Weyland Yutani building better worlds.
Yeah, that's why what they did in the second movie, they knew what they were doing. You know, they set up, you know, Haywood, Halen's, what was the Halen's what?
Hades Hope.
Hades Hope. Yeah, Hades Hope. They set that up just so they could explore. They had the science team, all those face huggers in the room. I'm like, they knew what they were doing. They set them down there just to get the fucking species.
We especially have seen it in director's cut, but I have to say, of all the Alien movie, I prefer the cinematic cut. And when I rewatch the movies, I always opt for the mostly. Sometimes, of course, I just watch the director's cut because I just can't get enough of Alien. But I really prefer the cinematic cut because I think they're paced better.
Well, that's the reason why they cut out a lot of scenes in the second movie, is because they didn't flow well with how the movie was going. You know, like say for instance the turret scene when they set up those turrets to shoot the aliens in the core. It's a great stuff to see, but it doesn't really move the plot along. You know, there's no character development. There's not something where those turrets is going to set up something later in the city. No, they're just there to stop aliens from coming through. And this, and when you really think about it, I'm like, all them aliens getting blasted in the corridor, shouldn't they melted the damn floor with the amount of acid that was leaking out of their bodies? That whole section should have been tore up.
Yeah, I know, but I'm giving like that to movie magic. That's fine.
I know, man, but sometimes when you watch movies for so long and you start noticing things, you like.
I know it's the same thing when you play Alien Colonial Marines, and then you think, where there's so many people on Hadley's Hope that there are so many xenomorph, like where do the xenomorph come from?
And that's another, like, even I was questioning, like, wait a minute now, there was 156 or 157 people based there, and outside the nuke, almost all of them got hosted. Mm-hmm. So it's like, how many of them aliens keep getting blasted by the turrets? And I'm like, man, it's got to be down to like 30 left.
I think in Alien Colonial Marines, I killed them by the hundreds. Yeah, I really like that, the aliens. This is also, I think this is one of my favorite scenes in the fourth Alien, when basically the aliens killed the other one to break out with the acid.
Oh, yeah.
That was a really good scene.
And then that one alien was able to press the button.
The xenomorph like before the screen. And Durif's such a fantastic actor. I just recently rewatched all seasons of Deadwood and the Deadwood movie. He's playing the Doctor so great in it, and he was one of the better parts of Alien Resurrection.
I just like the alien pressing the button. Like he saw the guy press the button and he knew, oh, that button hurts me, but I'm gonna get you back on that. He froze the other dude up.
I also think that scene sort of worked against the movie because it was a great setup. But then the movie did not deliver on the setup.
The whole movie didn't deliver. So, but yeah, the whole thing with Weyland-Yutani is that they want to study the organism, and they don't listen, and that's why at the end they always tend to fail. And as much as I just don't like Alien 3, seeing the actual real Bishop show up at the end. It was kind of the good revelation. Like, yeah, he set up his own android, just to be the nice guy in the second movie, and that's why he said he was a friendly face in that movie, because I always said that was the best android out of the androids because he felt almost humane. But then, we just see that he was created just to be that way so he can reveal himself in the third movie. And, you can't trust them. You can't trust that whole corporation. They said, oh, we're going to take the alien out and kill it. But I'm like, come on, that's a lie. That's a bald-faced lie.
But it's so interesting, when you say it's like, Weyland-Yutani, like for 200 years chasing like xenomorphs who are biochemical weapons. It's like, would humans really be that stupid? And, since we are in the second year of the pandemic, humans are that stupid. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, we also have the like very different kind of graboids.
Yeah, but the aliens was just such a hard enemy to battle because they sneak around in tight shafts. They attack you from out of nowhere, and then if you shoot them up close, their acid just get all over you. And that's like, it's like if you're in an up close situation with an alien, you got a gun. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get burnt by their acid if you shoot them up close. So it's like that makes them the most deadly aliens of all because of their blood. Like you could shoot them and that acid just shoots in your face like that. What happened to that Colonial Marine when they was about to escape?
Yeah, and poor Vasquez. Yeah, she was also awesome in the movie, and it's like in Aliens also there is no weak acting. and the charisma and the individualism that the colonial marines bring to the table. I mean, Bill Paxton makes every movie better, and of course Michael Biehn. Hello, Michael Biehn is also, when he's in the movie, I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, you don't want to go like close combat with a xenomorph. That's, yeah. Even in video games, like I'm always getting freaked out when they come too close. Even though I have stim packs, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, Bill Paxton was amazing in there. And he had some of the funniest lines, you know. Like I like how, you know, he was already like just, you know, over the top character. But when the aliens showed up, it fucked with his brain mentally because it like he couldn't handle that. You know, he was this so-called tough Marine, but then he finds out he's going up against something that is way tougher than what he thought. And they all of a sudden they feel that fear. They feel that fear. You know.
Yeah, I really liked it when I talked about the game over man, game over scene. It's like when you think Hudson is losing it, but then he's like keeping it together and also having a very like a really fantastic ending. So
because he started out with fear, but he went out like a soldier.
Yes,
that was the plus.
This is always a very good trait of a horror movie, and of course, Alien still has a lot of horror elements. Is that you actually want nobody of the crew to die except for fucking Burke.
Oh man, that dude was a jerk soon as he came on the scene.
Yeah, but also fantastic acting of somebody who is like more of a comedic actor. He really played the corporate douchebag like perfectly.
Yeah. But of course, you know, when it comes to the Marines, Vasquez was my favorite, man, because she was just hardcore. She was hardcore, man. And I thought she went out well, you know, when Gorman, and she didn't like Gorman. Yes, she hated Gorman, but they know that their fate was inevitable.
He also redeemed himself. And and like, so somebody ever mistook you for a man. How about you, Hudson? So fantastic scene. Like,
and you know, her, Paxson, and Lance were awesome in Near Dark.
Yeah, Near Dark is fantastic movie. We also have to talk about that one in the future.
Yeah, man, I loved them in that.
It's so scary that one. And Bill Paxton is just, I think he's basically himself.
Yeah, it's like he's Hudson over the top even more in vampire form.
Yeah.
But
well, I always think of like an older Hux that would have survived like in Live, Die, Repeat.
And that's another thing, Fable. Yeah, when the aliens come off the wall, that's another thing. I like how the aliens set up their sections when they went. The Colonial Marines went to the high where all the host was. It's like you really can't distinguish what the wall is because they make it look like themselves. So they just come out the wall.
Use this in every fucking video game, and every time it works again at the first try. And like,
it's almost like you gotta walk in and shoot the walls, but you're wasting ammunition.
Yeah, exactly. Like every time there's like a spot on the wall, like tick, 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 tick.
But sometimes in the video games, they don't come out until you get to a certain section of the hallway. Like you shoot it knowing that they're gonna come out, but they don't come out. But then when you walk further on, then they come out the same area that you shot. I'm like, oh fuck, I just shot your ass.
Which I would love to be hyped for the new Alien video game, but it's multiplayer only.
Yeah.
I want a single player campaign.
Aliens is made for single.
Haven't they fucked the last Predator game like up enough by just making it multiplayer?
So
hey, Paulo.
Yeah,
I really hate that. All like every shooter is just multiplayer anymore. I want a really good campaign. I'm still replaying the Alien vs. Predator games by Rebellion. Love the campaigns, Marines, Xenomorph, Yautja. It's, you know, I want this again.
Sadly, they won't give it to you.
Yeah, and especially with the new Predator game, since they added Dutch in the game.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah, talking Predator, like, I'm one of the only people who really likes AVP and AVP Requiem.
I love the first one. Now, I watched the second one today, like early this morning. It was dark, so I was like, let me go ahead and watch it.
You can see something.
Yeah, it was like, it does view better in the dark, because then you get to actually see some things.
Yeah, play it with the fan patch. Install the fan patch. Of course, I think you have to get it. You have to play it on PC. But why do you play on anything else than PC? Like, nobody want to be a console peasant.
As soon as you said PC, I knew you was gonna say console peasant. It was coming.
It has to be. The fan patch really saves the game, and I'm still playing the Colonial Marines every year for Alien Day with the fan patch, and I enjoy it. Yo,
What's up, Robert G?
Yeah, but AVP is, I get why a lot of people dislike the movies, especially when you know the fantastic Dark Horse AVP run,
Yes.
which was a game changer and set new rules for crossovers in comic books.
Yes. It set up the whole Predator 2 scene where you see the Xenomorph skull on the wall.
Yes. And compared to the fantastic Alien vs. Predator comics, the movie is lackluster. But just seeing it is a fun movie. Like, it's a fun action flick that is very well cast. Especially when you watch the unrated version, it's a fun flick that is more in line with the Predator franchise, and it's still canon in the movie Predator franchise. The Predator, one of the worst movies ever. I felt raped after the movie.
We all did.
Yeah, it was horrible, but it basically established that AVP is canon within the Predator franchise. Of course, not within the Alien timeline, because it would fuck up the whole timeline.
Well, the aliens happen so far in the future.
Alien Requiem, the first time I watched it, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, it was so dark.
The second time, I didn't see anything, but the third time, it was at night. I had no source of light. I was having the shutters down, so not even the bloody moon could shine in. And then I was able to see the movie, and I enjoyed it. I really liked it. It's really nicely gory, and I always appreciate a movie that kills right at the beginning a child, because then you know it means business.
Yeah, that was brutal. But you know what's even more brutal? Was the people that was holding off last stand waiting for evacuation, and they just dropped a bomb on them. I was like, God, that just shows you how the corporation is like, fuck them people. That whole area is infestated, so we just gonna drop a bomb and call it a day.
Yeah. Lesson of the day: never trust the government, never trust any corporations.
No. And I felt sorry for the cop. You know, like, he broke off from them, and he's like, I'm gonna get to the town and hope for evacuation. And they just did him and the rest of the people dirty.
Yeah. But I think it was really good to have this in the movie. So I encourage everyone to give AVP and AVP Requiem another chance. Of course, AVP Requiem, you have to watch it live at night with no source of light. Otherwise, you will only see a black screen because the movie was shot way too dark.
Way too dark.
Way too
When
dark.
I first watched that movie, I'm like, man, I'm blind. I can't see a goddamn thing, and it's dark as hell, man. It's
like,
crazy, man.
I have to go to the eye doctor, like, to get new prescriptions in order to watch the movie. Or maybe you have to watch it with, you know, with night goggles. But I really like this. These are movies I can watch anytime. They're, I wouldn't even say they're guilty pleasure, you know. I mean, I think Anderson directed at least the first one. You can see that he made one mistake. Casting the Predators, the Yautias. You know, I'm always a fan of having like really buff dudes in movies because having bodybuilders in movies is always awesome. Is the epitome of being a man. But if you cast the Predator and you have like a very thick rubber suit, then you should cast a tall, slim guy.
Well, we all know who's still the best Predator of all the Predators.
Sadly passed away of HIV. It's way too soon, and yeah, first Predator actor is still the best. Not Jean-Claude Van Damme, who was originally the first Predator actor, but
Kevin Peter Hall.
Yeah, Hall, yeah. And I'm very happy that in the first Predator, in the end, Hall was also the chopper pilot. So they also gave him a nice tribute for being in the bloody suit for the duration of the movie, which even like Van Damme couldn't stand.
See, Van Damme couldn't throw a roundhouse kick in that thing. He probably would have attempted.
Yeah, and that's like one of the problems with AVP is like that the Predators are way too buff, and you can see they're uncomfortable moving because they're too buff dudes in too thick of a suit. So yeah.
Can't be too buff in the Predator suit, man.
Yeah.
Gotta get somebody who's just right, you know, who's tall enough to be imposing, you know, but yet slim enough to actually move.
Exactly, yeah. And Hall did it fantastically. But we're gonna talk about Predator another day. And yeah, AVP, give those movies another chance. And later, after watching the movie, read the comic books. You know, there's been nice collections so far of the AVP run. Dark Horse released one just shortly before they had to give the license to Disney. And I'm pretty sure that Marvel will reprint them too because it's just printing money.
I got the hardcover. I haven't read it since it first came out, but the Prometheus, Fire and Stone crossover. Oh, yeah, I enjoyed that. I got the hardcover to it.
Yeah, that was very well written, and this is also another thing where the comic books made a better continuation to Prometheus than the actual movie did, like Covenant.
Yeah, it's like how I don't like when I read a comic book series and I'm like, yo, this is a great adaptation of Predator or Aliens or whatnot, but then they do a movie and it's like, man, this shit dog shit, man.
Yeah,
and that's what Covenant was, man. Like Prometheus, I liked it, but Covenant was just a complete backwards trip.
Thank you, Fable. Thank you.
Thanks for showing up, man.
Yeah, we have to do this every year, talking Alien franchise on Alien Day, or at least Alien Day week. Yeah, I absolutely. You know, sadly this year didn't have so much time, but back in the past, I always made like also alien themed food, like and getting black burger buns and putting avocado like sauce in it, so like it's like xenomorph blood.
Squirt some xenomorph blood on there. They burn the burger, man.
Or pancakes, you know, with also like with food coloring, and then maple syrup. If you put yellow food coloring into maple syrup, you get really good xenomorph blood, and it tastes awesome.
So it's you that's creating all these prosthetics for the movies, huh?
Yeah.
This fake blood.
I'm only that creative on Alien Day.
You know what other comic book series I've read, and that was Alien Hive with Kelly Jones on art from Dark Horse in the early '90s. I enjoyed that because it explored more the hive, and it's also had a replicant of an alien, that was created by the corporation, and then when things went sour, that alien actually helped them out against the actual real xenomorphs. So that was pretty cool. And there was also one that I read with Mike Mignola on art. That was pretty good. Yeah, Salvation. I enjoyed that one as well.
It was really good, and I'm also a huge sucker for Genocide, which with the two different stocks of aliens, like you have the red aliens versus the original xenomorphs, which was very nice. Because when the humans were on the home planet of the xenomorphs, and then they were suddenly just within a civil war of the xenomorphs. Really cool issue. Really fantastic one. I forgot the name. I have it here in hardcover. Liam Sharp did it, and Liam Sharp, one of the best.
I think I know that one. I can't remember the name of it.
Let me grab it. Yeah, Fast Track to Heaven.
Yeah, that's the one.
And Liam Sharp's art is so amazing. If you have read the last Green Lantern run, he's just becoming better and better.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
Great art in it, man. I thought the story was pretty good.
Yeah, the story was really nice.
Like I said, there are some great alien stories out there. Look at that.
Totally, and I haven't read a lot of the novels, but there's also fantastic novels out there.
And it's like there's so much great source material out there that they can take elements from.
Yeah. And the good thing is, if you're unsatisfied, with Alien Covenant, or if you're very frightened what Disney will do with it, then there's so much stuff out there. You can totally make your own, headcanon, and also crossovers. Aliens and Predators are basically the best characters you can do crossovers with, because you can kill them.
Did you read the Aliens Vampirella crossover? I didn't see that. Well, how was that? Because I didn't read that one.
The story was nice, but Vampirella is not in her suit in the fucking comic for one.
What?
She has normal clothes, and it's the cover.
I know, because that first issue came out, I looked inside and I didn't see Vampirella in the suit. I was like, I'll put it back. I figured I'd get the trade later on, but I never did.
It's a nice story, especially when when you see the first vampires of Dracula having their first interaction with aliens, and one of the vampires tried to suck the blood of the alien, and it goes horribly wrong. Which is a fantastic panel. Absolutely love it.
Because I thought it was an odd pairing when they first announced it. I was like, man, Vampirella alien, that's kind of odd. But I might have to get the trade.
Yeah, the story was nice, but I think the art could have been better. What, in my opinion, is a very underrated crossover. I mean, we already talked about the first one. I think Marvelous Comic mentioned it as Superman Aliens. First one, fantastic. And I also really like the second one. And the second one has one of the coolest, it basically was an after credit scene within the comic, like a, sort of build up for a future story that sadly never came, where basically Darkseid had like on Apocalypse, like a room full of alien eggs.
God, you don't want Darkseid having that shit. I can
And
imagine Granny Goodness with the eggs, man.
yeah, and that was like a really good one. A lot of people gave it, I think, some shit, but I also like the Green Lantern's alien.
That makes sense considering what Green Lanterns go through their space characters. So imagine Green Lantern on the alien world or something like
Yeah,
that.
and it was with Kyle Rayner, and I think it was a very epic scene when basically he got overpowered by xenomorphs, and then he spoke the Lanterns oath before he broke out. A very epic scene. Absolutely
Nice.
love it. DC has done a lot of fantastic crossovers with Alien.
Makes you wish DC got the rights.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I think it would have been better, but what if Warner Brothers bought the rights? But
have they done a Star Trek Aliens crossover?
no,
They
I
don't.
hope we never will. Thanks, Team Nerdy, for stopping by. Hope to see you in the future. And
Yep.
be nice of you. Yeah. And like I said before, they're perfect for crossovers because usually when they have a crossover, then with two heroes, they always fight themselves and they team up. So it's still cool, but it's basically the same plot. While Aliens and Predators are just perfect, the perfect plot devices. It's like you have a good plot, you add a xenomorph or a Yautja to it, it becomes better. And that's the thing. What sometimes bothers me with some of the movie things they have done is just make a great science fiction movie and then put the xenomorphs in it.
Mm.
It's or like with the Predator franchise, what always bothered me, it's like this when they're always saying is, oh, you just don't want to redo the first one over and over again. You want to change the scenery. Like make a bloody Predator movie in the Wild West or in the medieval ages. It's like you basically take a period movie, put an Yautja in it, and voila.
Yep.
It's like I get it. I totally doesn't fit. Also, nah, please don't. It's
Only reason I mentioned Star Trek because of the Borg and how they like to assimilate people. So I thought like adding the Borg with aliens would be interesting.
Yeah, no, Disney raped both franchises enough as it is. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a Predator Conan crossover.
Oh boy.
I'm pretty sure because Fred Malmberg very much likes the idea.
Oh boy.
But with Alien, I mean, of course you can do I think like in the mainstream Marvel universe you can aid aliens. DC has shown it. Basically, all the aliens and Predator crossovers that were canon within DC, and for the most part they were fantastic stories. So if Marvel could find a good writer and a good artist, which
We'll see.
could be a possibility, as long as they won't put Teeny Howard on it. If you see, like, I don't know, like if Teeny Howard, when we see like Brett and Alien making out or something.
There's a lot of
potential, like, but you need a good writer, and currently there's not a good writers in comics, sadly. And if they're good writers, they're dragged down by current politics. What would be really nice? I mean, what I'm saying now, every time I mention a long ongoing series, I'm like, put Christopher Priest on it.
The books that I sent you, I recently read the two-parter with the Devourer of Souls, which was written by Priest, and I really enjoyed that. Like, I've always liked that storyline, but I really enjoyed it, rereading it.
Yeah, like the trade. That's always the thing in America with the trademark. It's the trademark of the Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff is still with with the I don't know if it's with the family or if it's just if they're it's just Edgar Wright properties, Edgar Rice Burroughs properties. So they really can license stuff out, but in Europe, a French a French publisher could do it at any time.
It was a couple of years ago they did the Tarzan Red Sonja crossover.
Yeah, with a beautiful Jim Balin cover.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, in the US, the trademark thing, which basically we have to thank Disney for it because they're clinging to their original creations, which actually should already have been in public domain. But yeah, greed always wins, as it
Always.
seems.
I hope
Yeah.
the trademark or copyright ain't the reason that you couldn't share my post on Instagram because of the alien music in there.
Could be. International copyright is a bitch. Have you heard that the original Predator writers have sued Disney for ownership of the Predator franchise?
Really? I haven't heard this. No, I haven't heard this.
I really hope that first, I really hope that they're going to be successful with it and not just like settle out of court and Disney gives them a little bit of money and they're happy. Second of all, if they're right, I hope they just don't sell it back to Disney. Yeah.
I wish they did this. I wish they did this when the sale went through with Fox. Like they should have came out like, hold on now. We own the Predator. We should have rights to own the Predator. So before it goes to you, it should go past us first.
Yeah, that would be very good. It's now this year was the second Alien Day under the regime of the greedy and the vicious mouse. But at least there's one thing. I'm not happy with the output Disney Marvel had so far with Alien. I mean, we only got one comic so far, but my first fear was that Disney will just lock it in the vault and keep it there.
They can't though, man. It's Aliens. It's too big of a franchise for you to just throw away in the vault.
Good thing they lost a shitload of money with the pandemic. So yeah.
There's too much money involved with Aliens for you to just throw it away in the vault. Why do you think they did so many goddamn variants of the first issue? Because they know how big Aliens is. They said we're gonna throw out like a freaking 100 variants because it's Aliens.
But
people love Aliens.
Most of them were just so plain and
exactly.
Some of them were quite ugly. I only bought cover A, and cover A looks shite.
I only bought cover A because that was the only one I was gonna buy.
No, that's not true. I also bought a blank variant one because that one was the best looking.
Send it to California Blend and get a sketch. It'd probably be better than because the one she did was pretty cool, man.
Yeah. Now it really shows that I think there's a huge problem at Marvel period now that most covers are, they're not dynamic. They're oddly blazed. Of course, some of the aliens that have been drawn by some artists look good. But none of the covers had like a presence or like a composition.
I wanted a violent aliens cover with the alien killing a person by shooting his mouth through his head. I wanted that. Like I remember seeing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre covers where he was tearing dudes up on the covers. I was like, that's what I want to see with aliens, man. I want to see vicious covers.
So far, the best thing that Marvel has done with Alien was the variant cover with Venom.
Of the symbiote?
Yeah, with Venom, like we had Xenomorph's skull and Venom, and they're looking at each other. That was a very good looking variant. I also bought that. And also bought, just because I'm a sucker for a good homage, I bought the Fantastic Four one where the Alien Queen comes out like from the original Fantastic Four issue number 1. Just that was a nice one. I mean, we even haven't mentioned today the Alien Queen so far, which was also an original creation for the second movie for Aliens.
Oh yeah, the Alien Queen design is one of the craziest looking designs ever. That
No
big ass, yeah, with the big long hair head, you know, and how his face is covered within the shell of the exoskeleton. Like the scene where Ripley encounters the Queen is one of my favorite scenes in that movie. It is also one of the most terrifying scenes.
Yeah, that's really because nobody was at that point thinking about it. I mean, they mentioned like theories and stuff, but that was a huge reveal. Which of course, because we haven't seen the director's cut of Alien yet at that point of time, and when you watch the director's cut of Alien, they have egg morphing in there. So when the xenomorph board tries to morph out of the people that it captured, like eggs, so you have the theory that that to do egg morphing when there's no queen, so maybe to have like a royal queen hacker, a royal face hacker. But of course, back then, since that was not in the cinematic cut, James Cameron thought about, where do they come from, the eggs? And then they created the Alien Queen, which was a fantastic invention.
Yeah, it was. But it did let me have a gripe about that. You can get away with it in the first movie, but they repeated it in the second movie, and they repeated it in the fourth movie. These aliens have these false finishes where the heroes think they got away, only for the alien to be stored on this ship. And I'm sitting there thinking, how the fuck that queen stored herself in that spot on the ship? I'm like, that big giant head of hers?
I remember when I watched it for the first time, I was not ready for it.
No, when Bishop got impaled, that shit scared the fuck out of me.
But you have to appreciate like the setup of the finale, like how James Cameron really he had Ripley already in that mech suit, so really set up like this finale very early on is a very, very fantastic way of story.
It was a nice payoff.
And also that, when she went back for Newt, that was shot in real time.
Yeah. That was another, like, the second movie is just amazing with her, and I love how the promise. Oh, stop it! But she's probably gone after just hearing that screech. But I love the setup in the movie where she said she was gonna never let her go. She will always be by her side and she will save her. And then when she got taken by the alien, she was determined not to leave that planet until she get Newt back. And the director's cut at least explained on her daughter, Ripley's daughter, had passed, because she was in stasis for so long that her daughter grew old, like she died at 67. So that already established that when Ripley met Newt and became attached to her, it was because she lost her daughter and never was able to see her daughter for so long that, it was like reuniting with her daughter, but just somebody else's kid. So I liked that little character.
It's like, I really appreciate what the director's cut is like adding story and lore-wise to the movie. But when rewatching it, I prefer the cinematic cut. I love the knowledge of having all these additional scenes, but when rewatching, I really like the pacing of the cinematic cut.
Yeah. But yeah, that was like my biggest gripe, especially like you watch the first movie and the alien is hidden on the little shuttle that gets her out of there. I'm like, this dude, man, he could have chased her around the place, but he went and took a nap in the shuttle and waited for her to come back. Like, oh yeah, you leaving? I'm gonna join you. I'm just gonna lay right here and wait till you pull out.
Yeah, and seeing the finale of Aliens and especially the bond between Newt and Ripley, watching Alien 3 or even feels more like a punch into the face.
It was a big gut punch. Right at the
Yeah.
beginning too. It wasn't like they got out the pod and then she died later on in the movie. No, it was right at the beginning.
Yeah, it's now that was really like, that's also the reason why I never got into the movie. Like, because the beginning.
Well, the funny thing is the assembly cut took that out. They took that beginning portion where they showed their ravaged bodies in the tanks. It took it out of that beginning portion. So I noticed that quick. I was like, oh, they don't show their bodies and stuff. But it's still
in the movie. It's like,
yeah, they still not in the movie. It's like, even if you took it out, that still doesn't really explain why they're gone.
I really wish Ridley Scott wouldn't have killed the rebooting of everything after Aliens.
Yeah, like I said, the third one was a hard watch because of how boring it was.
Yeah, like I said, for me, it's like Aliens, and then it's the Dark Horse comic book continuation. It's so much better, and like encourage everybody read the Mark Verheiden the comics. Way better sequels and some timeless panels, fantastic story, and he also does something different with the engineers.
Yeah. And like I said, I liked the Prometheus, and I liked the origin of the whole Alien franchise, but some of the characters I wasn't a fan of, and
Prometheus could have been so much better. Like, I like it more and more the more often I rewatch it. But like I said before, the deleted scenes would have made this movie so much better. And which is odd because when I watched it for the first time, I was not a fan of it. Because I expected something completely different, and then rewatching it every time I was like, oh, I can get into this. I like these things. It has a lot of Chariots of the Gods from Erich von Däniken in there. So a lot of pre-astronautic and ancient aliens theory, which is of course bullshit, but very interesting and very entertaining. For fiction, don't bring that shit into universities, please. I even had in my master's for history, for theories, I made a referat about debunking ancient aliens especially in Byzantine art. That was funny. But yeah, it's Chariot of the Gods. I love Erich von Däniken. Most of his theories I don't agree with, but I could listen to him all the time. When I was a kid, he was omnipresent in German TV, and I couldn't get enough of all these crazy theories. And even though, like I said, I don't agree with them because science, I have to say that he really was the guy that brought me into my love for science fiction. And since and the whole thing, the beginning with the engineers, they created life on Earth, is basically everything based on Erich von Däniken. So it's really good. And that's what the next thing. I was even more dissatisfied by Alien Covenant, because I expected now a sequel to Prometheus, and it was neither. It was a shitty prequel for Alien, and it was a shitty sequel to Prometheus.
And that was the biggest disappointment of all. That this was supposed to be a sequel to a prequel, and it just failed on all sides.
Yeah,
And it's like I don't even want to see, and we probably won't see another sequel to that movie
and
because of the whole.
it's a pity because also the actors were really good in it. It was very well cast. The dialogue was sometimes really stupid.
That's what took me out was some of the dialogue in there. Like
Yeah,
I had like Prometheus had better dialogue outside of a certain characters, but Covenant, I was like,
one
this
of my
guy
one
freaking
of my
Kenny
favorite
Powers
quotes,
in there.
like one of my favorite quote between David and Walter is still like what it was like you blow, I'll do the fingering. I was in the cinema, I was like, fuck.
Oh shit. Yeah. But yeah, it's all about Alien and aliens when it comes to the Alien movie franchise. The others can go to hell.
Like watch Aliens, watch Alien, and read the Dark Horse comics, and hope that you know like we already talked about the art of the new Marvel comic book, which traced NECA figures, and the art is atrocity. It's like it's disrespectful to the franchise. It's disrespectful to art. Uh, the story is okay. With Kennedy, it could it could get better. It was a very mediocre start. The story was not shit, but it also was not good. And it was not what the franchise deserves as a starting point at Marvel Comics.
Yeah, it needed a hot start. Something
Yeah,
that really grabs you and say, man, I can't wait for the next issue.
exactly. And Sean, big Alien fan, he dropped the title after issue 1. I'm also a big Alien fan, and I'm thinking about dropping it after issue number 2.
Yeah.
And this is a lot. I know there's a lot of people that like the first issue, like Gary B really liked it, and it's completely okay to like it. It's not a bad story.
Yeah, it's
And
not bad. It's just very meh. It didn't feel like I needed to continue. Like
and
for me.
not everybody is as offended by the tracing as we are.
Yeah. And
But
my number one person I can't stand as a tracer is freaking Greg Land. Because he traces the same goddamn
yeah,
art style all the time. Smiling woman, all this, like they have orgasms and shit.
I mean that's
Like
fine.
you're tracing it straight.
I respect tracing porn.
Nah, too much of that shit gets annoying as fuck.
Yeah, that's right. Ridley Scott. We also talked about. I'm a huge fan of Ridley Scott's visual direction, visual aesthetics. Storytelling, not so much.
And I understand where G Spot is coming from. But when we talked earlier, like Dan O'Bannon was like the main scripter of that first movie, and which is why that first movie felt more like his vision than Ridley Scott was just there to direct and add his vision in terms of visual styles.
Exactly. And watch it. I think Terror from Space or something the name from 1958, and watch Mario Bava's Planet of the Vampires. 2 movies that really inspired Dan O'Bannon, and then look for similarities in Alien. And even later with Prometheus, you find a lot of similarities between that and Mario Bava's Planet of the Vampires. So I totally recommend watching these movies, and then you can look for similarities, and it's really fun. And also the movies are awesome.
Yep.
So I think we've talked a lot of aliens today. We also need some more to talk for next year. hopefully we can talk next year for Alien Day how Marvel turned the ship around.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Like always, we don't want to, I really hate when I have to rant about comics because I want to love them.
Yeah. There's so many
So
times where we're ranting about a comic and not enjoying it.
it's because we see the potential of what it could have been. I love Chi. It's fantastic adaptation of Haggard's original story. Thank you so much for gifting me that. And yeah, fantastic. I also have to rewatch the Hammer adaptation with Peter Cushing in the next days.
Peter Cushing.
Yeah, so hopefully next year we can have a more optimistic approach to Alien after the acquisition of from Disney. But this year we're like a little bit like I think we have some sort of gallows humor for the things to come. How about the next week? You want to talk Bloodsport?
Yes. Yes. Let's dive into some Van Damme.
Exactly. I just watched Mortal Kombat, and somehow I really want to see a tournament.
I watched his debut movie, the No Surrender movie he did. I ain't seen that movie in a long time. That shit was cheesy fun though, man. I loved it. Him in that white suit kicking ass when they was at the dojo. I was like, look at Van Damme, man. He like I when he became a superstar, I was like, I would have loved if he did a little bit more villain work, and that's why I liked him so much in Expendables 2 because he was the villain and he just came off real good. But yeah, we definitely gonna talk some Bloodsport next week.
Yeah.
There won't be no live show tomorrow on my channel, but I will be on later on tonight. Me and Biggie Shack will do a live at 8:00.
Ooh, nice! I'm so happy that Biggie can do live streams again.
Yeah, they I don't know why they suspended his account in the first place, but
well, you should not live stream the Super Bowl.
Come on, man.
But it's tough that you think 90 days. It's like it's cruel.
It is. But yeah, he's been wanting to do something with me for a while, and I sent him the recent AOK with the Sergeant Slaughter and Jimmy Hart signatures.
Oh, that was so awesome! I loved that video.
Yeah, man. So I can't wait to hang out with him tonight because he'll be on the rap battle tonight at 9:00 on DJ Link's channel. So that's gonna be awesome.
You should have gotten Iraq flag signed by Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh man, but yeah, that was a fun experience though. Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter,
but
Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, you have so many cool events in Florida. Like I'm really envious, but I'm happy you all can enjoy it. And it was like seeing you and Steve, Hialeah, Jeff together is like, oh, you're like, I would have loved to be part of that. Like,
yeah, man. Even my brother finally came out and hung out with the guys. So that it's always fun just to get together and hunt comics and have fun.
Totally.
Like I said, if they could finally make portals work, you could just come through the portal right to Florida, man. Ain't got to take no plane, no nothing, man.
Oh, that would be perfect. Is there going to be a round table discussion?
I don't know. I remember last time when we did the hip hop show, I think they said they were taking 2 weeks off. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a show tomorrow since they was only off last week or the last 2 weeks. But if there is, I'll let you know.
It's going to be a chill weekend, most likely.
Yeah.
So I can get some sleep.
They'll probably come back with some rants ready, so.
Yeah, 2 weeks of time, you can build up a lot of renting power.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's like charging a limit attack.
I'll be trying to avoid them rants, but when they start ranting, then I start ranting. I'm like, damn it, man, I don't want to have a migraine because I'm ranting too much.
And when Matt is coming back for an epic rant, he probably has some spiky yellow hair, supercharged.
Oh, he'll be in Super Saiyan mode all night. All night. Well, hopefully, I'll let you know if they're on tomorrow. And if not, we'll definitely be back next weekend.
Awesome. Thank you. So then I also thank everybody in the live chat. We had some new faces here today. Lots of new guys. So thank you so much for stopping by. And I hope to see everybody the next week when we're going to talk Bloodsport, because kumite.
Yes.
Yeah. And probably the half an hour we just talking about how terrifying and awesome Bolo Young is.
Magic Lasso with the last comment.
I think the term. Don't you want to get rid of the term? Is it more like now a surprise visitor that doesn't leave?
I don't know if America can handle a huge doses of Varangian Vigilante.
Well, probably not now. It's like, I would just grab bullshit, be edgy as fuck, and somehow they change the law and I'm president.
Oh, shit. Hilarious, man. It's great to be back, though, man.
Yeah, so looking forward to next week. Also happy with you're back. Last week had a nice comic book talk with Magic Lasso, comic book hall, opening in AOK by Jesse Church. Was also nice, but always awesome to have you here. I'll be back.
Stronger than ever.
Only in a rerun. So yeah, thanks to everybody in chat. Thank you, Sean, for being here. And next week, kumite.
Yes. And next week, I will have a background back with me.
Awesome. Okay. Have
later, everybody.
And see you later.